This week, a woman with alopecia regained some self-confidence with an unexpected procedure.
My hair was part of my identity, and it was difficult moving forward and looking very different.
And service dogs can help more than just the blind. A local program uses dogs and their owners in a volunteer wellness program.
If you pet a dog for more than 3 minutes, your stress hormone cortisol goes down and your oxytocin or bonding hormone goes up.
Plus, a local man visited North Korea and hosted an event to raise awareness about the issues the country faces. I'm Kyle Roy-Akers.
And I'm Carla Buela, and this is Spoke TV, your source for local weekly news produced by second-year journalism broadcast students from Conestoga College. North Korea is one of the worst places for human rights, according to the guest in our next story. An event was hosted at Laurier University to shed more light on the struggle of those living there. Spoke TV's Peter Scott has the story.
When people think about North Korea, the first thing that usually comes to mind is Kim Jong-un and the strict laws and practices that are imposed on the citizens. Andrew Fawcett, a Wilfrid Laurier student, visited North Korea and explains why he went.
The rest of the world has largely forgotten about the plight of North Koreans, the actual people living in the country. There's been a lot of attention in the news to Kim Jong-un and the irrational behavior and policies. While I was in North Korea, I started talking and meeting people with dreams in North Korea, people that want a different reality, and essentially they were inviting me into that process of giving them a space to grow their dreams. So when I returned to Canada, I started connecting with organizations and learning about the projects that they're doing, and I realized that hosting an event would create a great platform for them to share this publicly.
So he put together Inside North Korea, a seminar with guest speakers, including a North Korean defector, a survivor of the infamous Yeoduk prison camp, as well as a presentation by No Chain for North Korea. Henry Song, the North American director for No Chain for North Korea, explains why events like these are important.
Remember that North Korea has the worst human rights situation in the world, something that even the United Nations, through its own Commission of Inquiry and the subsequent report, pointed out and revealed to the world.
Kwang Il-jung was a prisoner at Yeoduk prison camp. He was arrested for espionage. While in Yeoduk, he was forced to work 14-hour days and was fed approximately 600 grams of food a day. Over his 3 years in the prison camp, he lost over 80 pounds. Starting in 2009, Kwang Il-jung now works with contacts inside North Korea to get information about the outside world into the country by smuggling in USBs and SD cards with footage from South Korea showing how the world exists outside their country. Fawcett says if you're looking to support the cause, you can get in touch with Han Voice, No Chains for North Korea, or the Council for Human Rights in North Korea. Now, for every program handled tonight, there's a quote from Kwang Il-jung on the front that reads, "For every USB drive I send across, there are perhaps 100 North Koreans who begin to question why they live this way, why they've been put in a jar." For Spoke TV, I'm Peter Scott.
Thanks, Peter. Maple syrup is considered a sweet sign of spring, and festivals around the region draw in many visitors annually. But this year's warmer than normal winter caused some problems for local maple syrup producers. Spoke TV's Kelly Golden tapped into this.
It's maple syrup season, which means lots of festivities are taking place in and around the region. The production of maple syrup is a sweet but intensive job, and the weather plays a huge role. Owner of Shady Grove Maple Farm, Dan Gates, explains the impact the weather has had on the production of maple syrup this year.
Oh, the weather's been tough. Right through even fall, late fall into the beginning of winter, there was really no winter. Then when we did get it, we get those thaws. So we decided to tap super early this year.
Things started much earlier this season, with most maple farms tapping around the middle of February, 2 weeks earlier than normal. Despite the warmer spring-like weather we've been having, there's still plenty of maple syrup to go around for all the festivals taking place. Program coordinator at Westfield Heritage Village, Lisa Hunter, says that maple syrup festivals are still in full swing regardless of the weather.
It was much earlier this year, so fortunately we were able to get the taps in quite early in February, so we've been producing since then. We're not sure, depending on how the weather goes, how long the season will last, but it's definitely running today.
Once the trees start to bud, the season is over, meaning that this one could be short but sweet.
It's just been really wacky. We'll freeze up for 5 days and then we'll thaw right out and not freeze. And we need a freeze thaw to make the sap go up and down the tree.
For Spoke TV, I'm Kelly Golden.
Thanks, Kelly. More and more attempted ATM robberies are occurring in this area, and police are still investigating. Although Tri-Cities and Guelph area are safe community, robberies still exist. Last month, a pickup truck was used to drive through the doors at the Kitchener Auditorium and 2 ATM machines were stolen. Another case was at Stampede Corral. In January, another truck was also used to drag an ATM machine out of a Guelph club, The Manor. Robbery is not funny. It's against the law. For Spoke TV, I'm Carla Buella.
It's been around for almost 25 years, a program that helps hospital patients and old age home residents. It's the St. John Ambulance's therapy dog program. Carmen Ponciano joined the dogs for their rounds.
Even though they look like any ordinary dogs, you might not know that they have an important task every week. Their job as part of the St. John Ambulance Therapy Dog Program is to make weekly visits to a number of different places such as hospitals, senior homes, and schools to help individuals release some stress, anxiety, to boost their spirits overall, and to get lots of love.
If you pet a dog for more than 3 minutes, your stress hormone cortisol goes down and your oxytocin or bonding hormone goes up. So we've seen people, as I said, this stress really goes away. And in the nursing home, I've seen, Alzheimer's people, residents that are very agitated. They're petting a dog and they just calm down, their breathing calms down, their blood pressure and everything goes down.
An article published by the Journal of Psychosomatics not only confirmed these results, but also mentioned that they worked a lot faster than many drugs taken for stress and worked only after 5 to 25 minutes after interacting with a dog. And it all started in 1992 as a pilot program in Peterborough, Ontario. Since then, there has been such a positive response that now there are over 3,000 therapy dog teams that visit thousands of people Canada-wide. Like Andrea Parsons, who has been with the program for 6 years and is one of the many volunteers that has seen the changes it makes in people's lives.
I didn't realize the effect on some of the residents until some of the staff had said some things. So I had one woman, I used to call her the giggler, because every time we'd walk into the room, she would just giggle the whole time. And I found out that she wasn't like that when she was kind of an unhappy person. And for that moment, she was happy and her laugh was contagious and it made me laugh. And so it felt good that I could do that for her.
And it's the same for Wavy Granger and her dog Sassy, who even though they have only been with the program a short period of time, they have been making a difference at University Gates Long-Term Care Center.
Well, we're told to get out of our comfort zone, right? And once you do it, it's such a good feeling. People need to do it more,
But despite the fact that the program has helped thousands of people, for the volunteers, it can be a challenge sometimes, especially when a resident passes.
I got to experience it from the other end too, because 3 years ago when my mom was, she was dying of cancer, and she was on the cancer floor. They had a palliative care room, and the doctor that was in charge of the oncology doctor, she had a St. John Ambulance Therapy dog, and I'm saying we were in New Brunswick. That's where I'm from. And both my twin sister and I, we were away from our dogs. She had a St. John Ambulance Therapy dog. So when every morning she came in doing rounds, she left the dog with us. And it was, as I said, Mom was beyond, at that point, helping, but it helped us.
It was hard because you get such a rapport with these people. You might not be spending tons of time with them, but the time that you are spending is quality time.
You kind of know going in to try not to get attached to people because you don't know how long they're going to stay. But sometimes it's hard not to.
However, the benefits to the patients and their family far outweigh the difficult emotions the volunteers can sometimes experience.
It's not an upsetting thing. It's a privilege to be there for them during that time and to be there with the family members.
And like she says, it's a good feeling to know that she has been able to provide some comfort during their stay, which is something Wavy and Sassy will be experiencing more of as she passes her probation visits and becomes a full member of the St. John Ambulance Therapy Dog Program. For Spoke TV, I'm Carmen Ponciano.
Thanks, Carmen. Conestoga College has a new student president. Spoke TV's Amanda Hewson meets with Conestoga Students Incorporated outgoing and new incoming president.
Over the past 2 years, Conestoga Students Incorporated President Jeff Shear has worked hard with the staff and affiliates of CSI to help students around Conestoga. However, Shear has come to the end of his term as president and has started reflecting back on his time in office.
For me, the coolest thing about leaving is knowing that I'm leaving with CSI as a better place than when I came.
It's no surprise that Shear feels scared about stepping down and moving on to different things in his life.
Every day I have to sit back for at least 5 or 10 minutes and just think about this is almost over.
Shear is hoping that after his departure, CSI keeps up the good work, helping students and providing more growth at Conestoga.
I really want our services to just go the extra mile for students.
Luckily, current Vice President and future President of CSI, Cameron Jones, has a steady team to work with thanks to Shear.
Cameron has worked very closely with Jeff over the past couple years as CSI Vice President, and he knows he has big shoes to fill.
Rallying school spirit and focusing a bit more on athletics will be a goal for Jones, following the recent opening of the Recreation Center.
Jeff did an amazing job, and for him as a student who had no previous experience with CSI to come in and do the job that he did and take on the type of things that he did, I think is amazing, and I was always really blown away.
Jones is excited to take on the role of president and hopes to focus on board efficiency and feels as though Shear has really put him in a good spot to take that on.
In general, I'm really excited to be in the position going forward, and I think there's a lot of exciting opportunities that are ahead of me.
For Spoke TV, I'm Amanda Hewson.
Fluoride helps to reduce tooth decay. Although fluoridation doesn't affect the water's appearance, taste, and smell, people are still asking if it's necessary. Spoke TV's Shruti Rajagopalan has the story.
To fluoridate drinking water or not to has always been a huge debate. Recently, Larry Levin, Vice President of Canadian Dental Association, made a speech about the importance of adding fluoride to drinking water. The World Health Organization, Health Canada, and various other dental associations support the effort of adding fluoride, especially for low-income families who may not have access to dental care. Fluoride is found in water, soil, several minerals, and is also added to toothpaste or mouthwash. Waterloo Regional Councillor Jane Mitchell says it's the best way to give perfect dental care for people.
Because it's a public health issue, it reduces the amount of cavities in the mouths, particularly of young children.
Brantford was the first Canadian community to add fluoride. Big cities such as Toronto, Halifax, Hamilton, and Ottawa fluoridate, whereas Waterloo, Cambridge, and Kitchener don't. There are also several others who argue that there are possible health risks such as cancer, bone disease, and fluorosis that may occur due to this. Nadine Nakla, assistant professor at the School of Pharmacy in University of Waterloo, talks about the pros and cons of adding fluoride to drinking water.
Dental fluorosis is an issue, and that happens when you have a large accumulation of fluoride over time that ends up mottling the teeth and causing some discolored appearance. Dental fluorosis does not occur at the levels we currently have of 0.7 milligrams per liter.
The decision of fluoridation is left to the municipalities, even though the federal and the provincial governments set their guidelines. We just have to wait and see if Waterloo Region is having a referendum about it anytime soon. For Spoke TV, I'm Shruti Rajagopalan.
Thanks, Shruti. Next up in our health and fitness segment, I learned a great back exercise and how to make a deceptively delicious mac and no cheese.
Welcome to Spoke Talks Health and Fitness with personal trainer Josh Bauer. This week, Kyle Royakers learns how to perform a back extension, and he teaches you how to make vegan mac and cheese with no cheese.
Hi, I'm Kyle Royakers, and I'm here with personal trainer Josh Bauer. Today we're going to learn how to do
a back extension.
A back extension. How are we going to go about that?
All right, so Kyle, what we're going to do today is we're going to lay down flat on our stomach here, putting our hands behind our head, almost like we're getting arrested. And then we're just going to lift our torso up for sets of 3 for 2 seconds each set.
Sets of 3, 2 seconds each set.
Yeah, my man.
Sounds good.
All right. So hands behind your head, and then just lifting your torso up. 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. Perfect, brother.
All right, Josh. So why is the back extension a valuable exercise?
The back extension is important because it actually runs and helps our core strength, especially from the back. So anyone who's looking to really strengthen from picking up any items, especially groceries nowadays, it'll really help with that. So.
Hey there, today I will be showing you how to make vegan mac and cheese. For this recipe I used macaroni noodles, cashews, onion, peeled potatoes, peeled carrots, garlic powder, onion salt, and salt. First chop your potatoes and put them in a boiling pot of water. Next the carrots, and then 1/4 of the onion. Let cook until vegetables are soft. In another boiling pot of water, add in your noodles. While that's cooking, take your vegetables out of the pot, saving the water. Blend together the veggies, 1/2 cup of cashews, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, a teaspoon of onion salt, and a teaspoon of salt. Strain your noodles, pour in your sauce, serve and enjoy.
Alopecia is an autoimmune disease in which hair is lost from some or all areas of the body. Spoke TV's Shruti Rajagopalan talks to an alopecia patient to find out how they cope with it.
I was diagnosed with alopecia in 2011.
Michelle Bloom's condition has put her in and out of hospitals and has caused her to suffer from low self-esteem for several years now.
Alopecia is an autoimmune disease, and it affects anyone of any age, both men and women. And basically what happens is your hair follicles are rejected by your body and your hair falls out.
Alopecia patients go through a lot of struggles in the society.
My hair was part of my identity, and it was difficult. Sort of moving forward and looking very different, and having other people look at me very different.
But some of the pain was long gone after she found out about the henna planet.
Basically, I offer henna parties. I do henna at events. I do henna for brides. I do belly blessings, so henna on a pregnant belly. And tattoo trials, anything anybody wants to have henna for, they can hire me basically.
Henna Planet Company aims to empower women who have lost their hair due to cancer treatment or alopecia. And today, one of the world's top henna artists transformed the patient's head into a work of art. Takwin Singh has been a henna artist for 10 years now. The point of Henna Planet is to connect cancer and alopecia patients with artists who beautify sufferers with ornate henna crowns. Singh used natural henna which will last for about 15 to 20 days.
For me, safety is a big issue. When I do henna for a henna crown, or if I'm doing it for my own business, I make sure that it's all natural henna. It's completely safe. I make it myself, so I know exactly what's put into it. I know that there's no chemicals in it.
This movement is expanded far to the world, including Australia, Russia, Israel, South Africa, and Pakistan. This global network includes more than 250 artists.
Henna has an ability to make somebody feel good about themselves because you're applying something and making them look beautiful, but also in the process you're touching them, and you're touching them in a positive way.
Bloom shares how she feels about the results of the crown.
Absolutely wonderful. There isn't a feeling like it. This unpredictable autoimmune disease that we live with every single day, and anything that can help move towards acceptance and just living with every single day. Anything that you can do that's helpful to do that, and Henna Crown does that.
It just feels freedom for them because it's just a beautiful design that they're able to be themselves and be accepted for who they are.
The best part is the happiness the patients get when they catch the sight of their crowns.
Oh my goodness. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, a lot. So the coverage is really important. So when I look in the mirror, so I see the crown. Right, so you can see it. So I don't see the, so this is the only time that I don't see bald, and I see the design, and I see the henna, which is really nice. Yeah. Great. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. Thank you.
For Spoke TV, I'm Shruti Rajagopalan.
Irish Real Life Festival brought the traditional Irish culture to Waterloo Region with Irish music, literature, film, and storytelling. Spoke TV's Carmen has more.
Kitchener-Waterloo had the chance to see a different face of St. Patrick's Day this year since it took a deeper look into the traditional Irish festival. The Irish Real Life Festival offered different events throughout St. Patrick's Day week, like Irish Literature Night, Irish craft beer tasting, and showcasing Irish films, just to name a few of the activities. And it all started with Sue Nally and her team.
We were looking for something to do that wasn't just about going to a pub. We love going to a pub, but that's, not an issue. It's more that we were looking for something beyond that. And so we felt that this year we would start offering something that was a little more genuine Irish culture and see if other people are interested and to kind of showcase everything that's out there beyond green beer.
They were able to gather the community to help create a different approach to the festivities that go on during St. Patrick's Day. Like Rob Hearn, owner of the Short Finger Brewery, who was the tasting guide during the Irish craft beer tasting night at the Princess Cafe, which featured 6 different beers from local brewers.
We'll be walking people through tasting notes and how to properly taste beer and what notes they may be picking up on. A lot of people just kind of drink beer and don't really think about what, they just down a glass or whatever. But there's a lot of nuances and things that you can pick up on in beer, and once you learn a bit more about it, you start appreciating better beer.
This is the first year that the Irish Real Life Festival hits the streets of Kitchener-Waterloo, and with events such as this one and the whiskey tasting, there has been a lot of positive response from the public. It'll be interesting to see what they will have in store for us next St. Patrick's Day year. For Spoke TV, I'm Carmen Ponciano.
Thanks, Carmen. 3 local hockey players were recently recognized for their skills. Reporter Megan Spotswood caught up with one of the players and the coach.
3 Waterloo Warrior players took home some honorable awards at the OUA Men's Hockey Championship. Forward Colin Behenna, defenseman Mike Moffat, and forward and captain Joe Underwood all took home All-Star awards. As well, Behenna received the League MVP award and Moffat received the Honorable Randy Gregg Award.
Moffat scores! Tie game! Michael Moffat!
Behenna is not only being recognized as one of Waterloo Warriors' best, but he is also being recognized as the league's finest. He is the 5th player in Waterloo Warrior history to have won the MVP award. Leading the team in all aspects, Colin Behenna is proud of his accomplishments, but it wouldn't be possible without his team.
Yeah, it was definitely something I was pretty proud of. Being recognized by the other coaches is obviously a huge thing. We play them every weekend, so for them to recognize me as a threat on the ice is obviously kind of an honor for me. Obviously wasn't something I set out to try and achieve at the start of the year. It would have been nice to go farther as a team, but at the same time it's kind of a nice thing in my last year to be recognized as the MVP.
Waterloo Warriors coach Brian Bork is impressed with Behenna's development throughout the years.
Yeah, so Colin he came into our league as a very good player. He was the captain of the Barrie Colts the year before he came here, so in the OHL. So very good player all the way through. So here, I'd say he's improved his defensive game a little bit at this end. He's always been a very offensive player.
For Spoke TV, I'm Megan Spotswood.
Thanks, Megan. That's all we have for you this week. For Spoke TV from Conestoga College, I'm Kyle Royacres.
And I'm Carla Buella. For more news and information, visit spoketv.ca.